Hello friends, let us continue the derivation of law equations. We have already derived the law equation in one dimension given by A into cos alpha minus cos alpha 0 equal to E lambda. If this condition is satisfied, then the rays falling onto a one-dimensional crystal will constructively interfere and we will get a bright spot, a bright diffraction pattern. So if we look into this picture, we can see this is the incident beam falling onto the atom here, making an angle alpha 0, which is the glancing angle. So this is the alpha 0 angle, and the diffracted beam will make an angle alpha. And if the alpha and alpha 0 are in such a combination that this equation is satisfied, the law equation is satisfied, we will get a bright beam. We will get constructive interference. But the point to be noted here is that the alpha need not be in one plane. Here you can see initially in this part you can see this is the incident beam making an angle alpha 0. Then we have the diffracted beam making an angle alpha. This diffracted beam can also be in another plane making the similar angle alpha. So here you can see we have drawn a set of lines representing the diffracted beam, and all these rays are actually making an angle alpha with the line with this and with this row of atoms. So in fact we have a cone shape or a concentric cone with respect to the line of atoms having a semi-apex angle alpha, and the diffracted beam falling onto this cone will actually have alpha as the scattering angle. So all these beam falling onto this cone can make diffraction pattern, can give us diffraction pattern. So if we see here I have drawn the set of concentric cones, each corresponding to different values of E. This is E equal to 0 case, this is E equal to 1, this is E equal to 2, etc. And if the incident beam is falling onto the atom, the diffracted beam can go through any of these paths. It can choose a path all through this cone, surface of that cone. The beam going all over through that cone can give you maximum brightness. So this is one concept that you need to remember. The path of the diffracted beam is not a single line. It can follow actually a conical shape, and all through those paths we have maximum brightness. And now let us modify the equation, the law equation, into a vector form. So our law equation is given by A into A cos alpha minus cos alpha 0 equal to E lambda. This is our law equation. Suppose we choose two different vectors, S0 bar and S bar. S0 bar is a unit vector in the direction of incident beam. S bar is a unit vector in the direction of diffracted beam. So what is A bar dot S bar? If A bar is the vector corresponding to the lattice parameter, then A bar dot S bar is A into the magnitude of vector A, which is A, into the magnitude of vector S, which is 1 actually because it is a unit vector, into angle between them. The angle between them is alpha 0. So cos alpha 0. cos alpha 0. So a bar dot s bar is a cos alpha 0. Similarly, a bar dot s0 bar is a cos alpha 0. Similarly, a bar dot s bar is a cos alpha. You can find to be equal to magnitude of a bar into magnitude of s bar, which is 1, into angle between the refracted ray and the line of atoms, which is alpha. So cos alpha. So a bar dot s bar is a cos alpha and a bar dot s0 bar is a cos alpha 0. You can see the s0 bar and s bar are unit vectors in the direction of incident beam and refracted beam. S0 bar is in the direction of the incident beam, which is right through here, and S bar is the unit vector along the direction of the diffracted beam. So you can prove that A bar is the vector along the lattice direction. A bar dot S bar will be A cos alpha 0 and A bar dot S0 bar will be A cos A bar dot S bar is A cos alpha and A bar dot S0 bar is A cos alpha 0. So if we modify the law equation into its vector form, A into cos alpha minus A into cos alpha 0 can be written as A bar dot S bar minus A bar dot S0 bar. A cos alpha is A bar dot S bar. A cos alpha 0 is A bar dot S0 bar equal to E lambda. So if I take A bar dot as common, this is equal to A bar dot S bar minus S0 bar equal to E lambda. So this is the vector representation of law equation in one dimension. A bar dot S bar minus S0 bar equal to E lambda. What are different terms here? A bar is the lattice vector. S bar is the unit vector along the direction of diffracted beam. S0 bar is the unit vector along the direction of incident beam. E is an integer, 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Lambda is the wavelength of incident X-ray. So this is the law equation in vector form. And if we consider a two-dimensional array of atoms, just like we consider a single array of atom here, one-dimensional row with spacing A, if we add it to another dimension, a second dimension, similar to the treatment that we have already done, the same treatment can be applied to the second dimension as well. So we can actually derive the same set of formula for the second dimension. So if A is the interplanar spacing or the lattice parameter along the first dimension and B is the lattice parameter for the second dimension, and similar to the angles that we defined alpha 0 in the first dimension, let us define another angle beta 0 in the second dimension. So if a beam is falling onto this atom, the angle made by the incident beam with respect to this dimension is called alpha 0, and the angle made by the diffracted beam with respect to the plane of atoms is the alpha angle. Similarly, the angle made by this beam with respect to this plane is called beta 0, and the angle made by the diffracted beam with respect to this dimension is called beta. So the beta 0 terms have the same meaning like the terms alpha and alpha 0. So we can actually prove for that dimension also the same set of equation holds. B into cos beta minus cos beta 0 equal to B bar dot S bar minus S0 bar equal to f lambda. F is also an integer. So this is the equation. This is the law equation in the second dimension. Here all the terms b, beta 0, beta, s bar, s0 bar all have similar meaning like the treatment that we have already done. So this also means that the incident ray can diffract along another direction, making an angle beta, and this equation also gives the possibility of formation of cones along the diffracted direction. So I will show you a picture. Here you can see this is the incident ray here, and you can see a two-dimensional arrangement of atoms here. All the dots represent the atoms. It is a two-dimensional arrangement, and this direction is the first dimension. This is the A bar row of atoms. And the second dimension is this. This is the B bar row of atoms. With respect to the first row, the diffracted beam can form a cone, making an angle alpha with the line of atoms. And similarly, with respect to the B row of atoms, the diffracted beam can form a cone shape, making an angle beta with respect to the row of atoms. So this angle will be beta and this angle is alpha. So wherever these two cones coincides or intersects, there we will get maximum brightness. So intersection of two diffraction cones, one each for A and B rows of atoms, these points will correspond to maximum brightness points. So this is a representation of points where the cones will intersect. The cones, when looked through another dimension, will seem to intersect at certain points, and those points will be maximum brightness points. And similar to the treatment of two-dimensional case, we can consider the third dimension of the crystal, where the atoms are arranged in the third dimension, in all three dimensions. There also we can derive the law equation, which is very similar to the equations that we already learned. The law equation will be C is the lattice parameter in the third dimension, into cos gamma minus cos gamma 0 equal to C bar dot S bar minus S0 bar, which is equal to G lambda. If this condition is satisfied in the third dimension, we will get bright diffraction pattern. So we have derived three sets of equation. The first equation is A bar dot S bar minus S0 bar equal to E lambda. Second equation is B bar dot S bar minus S0 bar equal to F lambda. Then C bar dot S bar minus S0 bar equal to G lambda. The meanings of all these terms are known to you, and these three equations are together known as law equations. So if these three equations are satisfied by a beam of ray, then that ray will correspond to maximum brightness, or that ray will give you a diffraction pattern of maximum brightness. So the importance of this equation is that this equation directly gives you the lattice parameters A bar, B bar and C bar. What is Bragg's law? Bragg's law is 2d sin theta equal to m lambda or n lambda. So the only parameter that we will get from the Bragg's law is d, which is the interplanar spacing. So you can only know about the interplanar spacing in a crystal from the Bragg's equation. But when we come to law equation, it is more specific, and the lattice parameters can be directly derived, directly obtained from law equation. So these are the lattice parameters. If we know the lattice parameter, the complete crystal can be reconstructed. So you know what is the arrangement of atoms in the first dimension by knowing A bar. By knowing B bar, you can arrange the atom in the second dimension. And by knowing C bar, so this is the two-dimensional arrangement. If you know C bar, you can arrange the atoms in the third dimension as well, which is the upper direction. In all three directions, you can arrange the atoms and create the whole crystal lattice. So that is why Lowe equation is more generalized than the Bragg's equation. Bragg's equation only gives us in the interplanar spacing, but the Lowe equation actually gives us the lattice parameters, all the lattice parameters. I hope you understood today's session of deriving Lowe equations. Try to read the textbook and understand it by yourself. I have followed the textbook Solid State Physics by M.A. Wahab here. Thank you.